A lot of Gachiakuta fans look at Semiu Grier and immediately put her in the support character category. She spends a lot of time behind a desk, answers calls, gives information, and doesn't constantly jump into the spotlight like Rudo, Zanka, Rio, or Engine. Because of that, it's easy to assume she's just the receptionist of the cleaners. But that's honestly one of the biggest misconceptions about her character. Semiu isn't there because she couldn't be on the battlefield. She's there because she's one of the people keeping the entire organization running, and she's ridiculously good at what she does. Her calm personality makes people overlook just how valuable she actually is. The first hint comes pretty early when Rudo arrives at Cleaner's headquarters. While everyone else is introducing themselves, Semiu is already evaluating him with her vital instrument eyes. She immediately notices things about Rudo that other people can't see. And even though Engine clearly believes in him, Semiu doesn't just blindly agree. She points out that he still needs training before he's ready. That moment says a lot about her. She isn't impressed by hype or potential. She judges people based on what they can actually do right now. And that's exactly the kind of person you want helping run an organization full of dangerous guyvers. Another thing fans underestimate is how broken her ability actually is. Eyes isn't some flashy weapon that destroys trash beasts in one hit. Instead, it lets her analyze givers, predict attacks, and even perceive combat in a way that makes dodging incredibly efficient. That's the kind of power that doesn't always look exciting until you realize how impossible it makes her to catch off guard. Gachiakuta is full of fighters who rely on overwhelming force, but Semiu wins through information. In a series where one mistake can get someone killed, having someone who can see danger before everyone else is an enormous advantage. Then the story starts showing that she's not glued to a desk at all. During the attacks on Cleaner's headquarters, while everyone else is focused on the larger conflict, Semiu is actively defending HQ and coordinating the response. She warns the team about the infestation, directs them toward the safer entrance, and even fights off attackers herself instead of waiting for someone to rescue her. That's a huge difference from the image people have of her just sitting behind a reception counter. When things get serious, Semiu is more than capable of stepping into the action herself. She also acts as one of the cleaner's biggest sources of stability. Think about how chaotic Team Akuta can be. Engine is unpredictable. Rio loves rushing into battle. Rudo is still learning. And Zanka is constantly trying to become stronger. Somebody has to keep everything organized behind the scenes, and that's usually Semiu. She handles communication, gathers information, relays missions, and keeps everyone connected. Without someone doing all of that, the strongest fighters in the world would still struggle to function as a team. One of my favorite things about Semiu is that she never feels like she's trying to prove herself. She doesn't need loud speeches or dramatic entrances to show confidence. She's already confident. When she talks, people listen because she's usually right. Even Engine, who jokes around with almost everyone, treats her opinions seriously. That's something fans don't always notice because Gachiakuta has so many explosive personalities, but Semiu's quiet professionalism makes her stand out in a completely different way. That's why I think so many fans misjudge Semiu Grier. They mistake less screen time for less important. But Gachiakuta keeps reminding us that not every powerhouse has to be the one throwing punches. Some characters make an entire organization stronger simply because they're always making the right decisions, gathering the right information, and staying calm when everyone else is losing control. Semiu may not have the loudest personality in Gachiakuta, but she's easily one of the smartest and most dependable members of the cleaners, and the story would look very different without her. Another reason people overlook Semiu is because Gachiakuta is full of characters that are impossible to ignore. Rudo has his insane growth, Jabba is completely unhinged, Zanka has one of the coolest backstories in the series, and Rio has an incredibly unique fighting style. When you're surrounded by personalities like that, it's easy for someone quieter to blend into the background. But if you pay attention, Semiu is almost always contributing in ways that move the story forward. She's also one of the few people who never lets emotions completely cloud her judgment. There are plenty of moments where the cleaners have to react quickly, but Semiu usually takes a second to think before speaking. That doesn't mean she lacks emotion. It means she understands that making the wrong decision can put everyone at risk. In a world filled with dangerous trash beasts, raiders, and powerful givers, staying level-headed is a huge advantage. What's interesting is that Gachiakuta constantly shows that intelligence is just as valuable as raw strength. Sure, Rudo has to become stronger if he wants to survive, but even the strongest fighter can lose if they don't understand what they're up against. That's where characters like Semiu become incredibly important. She helps fill in the gaps that brute force can't solve. You can even see this in the way other members of the cleaners interact with her. Nobody treats her like she's just there to answer questions. They actually trust what she says. That kind of respect isn't handed out for free, especially in an organization where everyone has proven themselves through dangerous missions. Another thing fans sometimes forget is that every cleaner has earned their place. This isn't some group where people get promoted because they're nice or because someone likes them. Becoming part of the cleaners means you've shown that you can contribute in meaningful ways. Semiu being there at all tells you that she's already proven herself long before Rudo ever showed up. Her vital instrument is also a great example of how Gachiakuta avoids making every power feel the same. Not everyone needs an ability built around explosions or overwhelming damage. Some abilities are designed around awareness, analysis, and precision. Those kinds of powers often become even more useful as battles get more complicated because they allow characters to react before everyone else even realizes what's happening. It's honestly kind of refreshing to have a character like Semiu in a battle manga. A lot of series accidentally make every important character loud, aggressive, or constantly trying to outshine everyone around them. Semiu is the complete opposite. She's calm, observant, and usually speaks only when she actually has something worth saying. That makes every scene she's involved in feel a little different. As the story continues introducing stronger enemies, the value of information only keeps increasing. The cleaners aren't fighting mindless monsters all the time. They're dealing with people who have unique vital instruments, strange abilities, and unpredictable strategies. Knowing what an enemy can do before charging in can literally be the difference between winning and losing. I also think Semiu helps balance out the tone of the series. Gachiakuta can get incredibly chaotic during fights, with characters yelling, laughing, and destroying everything around them. Then you have Semiu calmly analyzing the situation, while everyone else is caught up in the moment. That contrast makes the cast feel much more believable, because not everyone reacts to danger the same way. Her relationship with the other members of the cleaners also says a lot about her personality. She isn't trying to compete for attention or prove she's the strongest person in the room. Instead, she naturally supports the team by doing what she's best at. Ironically, that confidence makes her more memorable the longer you follow the story. There's also a good lesson hidden in her character. A lot of people assume that the most important person is always the one throwing the biggest punch. Gachiakuta challenges that idea over and over again. every successful organization needs people who gather information, coordinate plans, make smart decisions, and keep everyone working together. Semiu represents that side of the cleaners better than almost anyone else. I wouldn't be surprised if more anime-only fans completely change their opinion of Semiu as future arcs get adapted. It's common for quieter characters to receive less attention early on, only for viewers to realize later that they've been incredibly important the entire time. Gachiakuta has already done that with several characters, and Semiu feels like another great example. At the end of the day, I think the biggest mistake fans make is judging Semiu by how loud she is, instead of by what she actually contributes. She's intelligent, dependable, respected by her teammates, possesses one of the series' most unique vital instruments, and consistently helps keep the cleaners functioning during both peaceful moments and complete chaos. She may never be the flashiest character in Gachiakuta, but that's exactly what makes her so easy to underestimate, and why so many fans end up misjudging her.